Okay, so we are seeing the vowels. The letters in Sanskrit are called aksharas, and the vowels are called swara. So we saw so far a, I, o, u. Then we saw r, r. We saw a, I. We saw o, o. And we also learned the song. A, u, r. A, I, O, A, R. A, I, The song is really to help you to remember the letters. Okay? Now we continue. It's going to start with a pop quiz. I'm going to say a sound, and you're going to tell me by showing me of your fingers which answer is correct. Okay? So, which one is a? Each letter has a number. Show by hands which number is correct. A. I think almost everybody who answered got that correct. A is number 9. Awesome. Which one is R? R. This is open book test. Everyone's looking at each other. R. R is number 3 is correct. Which one is O? O. O and O are very close. Don't mix them up. O comes first. O has only one cherry. Okay. Which one is Ah? Ah. Ah is number 1. Correct. Which one is I? I. I. Yes, number 8 is correct. 8 is I. Which one is O? O. Correct. Number 5 is O. Okay, now listen carefully. There are 2 vowels missing from this list that we have learned. We've learned 12 so far, and of the 12, there are 2 missing. I want you to tell me the answer, which 2 are missing, by showing me the number of their counterparts. So for example, if A is missing, I will say number 1's counterpart is missing. And if A is missing, I will say number 2's counterpart is missing. So there are 2 vowels missing. Tell me the numbers of those vowels counterparts with your 2 hands. Each hand will have 1 answer. Gonna give 5 more seconds. Many people got that. Correct. We are missing the counterpart for R, which is R, and we are missing the counterpart for U, which is oo. So very well done, everybody. These vowel sounds should be at your fingertips. Literally at your fingertips. I say the sound and you have the answer ready. Okay? And that will come with practice. It's not going to come overnight. It's going to come with a lot of practice. So keep practicing and you'll get it. Okay. Now, in our vowel song, you would have noticed that there are two more sounds which we didn't learn yet. So we're going to learn those two now. The first sound is, so this is, the topic is vowels continued. Okay. The first one is very, very, very easy to write. You already know most of it. This is the first part. When you put a dot on top, a bindi, oops. When you put a bindi on top, it becomes The sound is like in drum, um, um. That's where we say And after again, very easy. Aha, aha, and aha. Aha has a little colon next to the Um, aha, um, aha. You already know how to say them because we sang the song. So this should be easy. Now, let me give you a little disclaimer. These are not really vowels, but they are kept in the vowel section. They're not independent letters either. They're kept in the vowel section as placeholders because they always come after a vowel. So actually, it is this thing that we are calling and it is this thing that we are calling aha. What these are, I'll tell you the names for it. This letter, this dot on the top of the is called the anusvara. Anusvara. That is the technical name for this letter. Anusvara. The anusvara is basically holding the dot on the top of the vowel. It can go with any vowel. The little bindi can go with any vowel. And it is a placeholder for any nasal sound. When we get to the consonants, we will see what the nasals are and we will see what exactly it means. For now, you should know the anusvara. It means it is a nasal sound. And if you want a way to remember, you know how some people have a nose ring? This dot is like the nose ring. So when you see that dot on the top, it is a nasal sound. It is connected to the nose. Okay. The other one is called the visarga. This two dots is called a visarga. And what visarga means is release of breath. So what you're doing is the that is there in front, you're releasing that breath of the vowel in an echo. Huh, huh, huh. That echoing sound of the vowel is what these two dots represents. So, for example, if this was I and the visarga, it's not huh. You're going to echo the vowel sound that comes right before the visarga, and that will be I, he, like shanti. When we say shanti, 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 that ihi, that h sound that comes after, the echo of the I is what this visarga is. If it was u, I think you can guess it would be u, hu, u, hu. So the visarga goes with any vowel and it echoes the sound of the last vowel that it means. One little point on the visarga. What about this? If the visarga comes after Ai. Ai. It's not I, hey. You'll feel there's a weirdness in pronouncing it, I, hey, right? When you say I, you will notice that the I ends with the I sound. I. That I at the end of I is the sound that is replicated. So when you say I, it's I, he. You keep your mouth in the same position and you just let the air come out. This we will get with practice as we go along, but this is the visarga. It is a release of breath with the last vowel sound. Okay, so with this, we have finished our vowel section. Let me write it out for you all. Everyone can write it together with me. And say it as you're writing. A, I, E, O, U, R, R. And now you go to the next line. A, I, O, O. And then in brackets, I'm going to put ah. I hope you all wrote it down because we're going to add something to it now. A, I, E, O, U, R, R, E, I, O, O, aha. Now, within these vowels, some of them are considered short vowels and some of them are considered long vowels. What does that mean? A short vowel in chanting is chanted for 1 beat, and a long vowel is chanted for 2 beats. A long vowel lasts 1 second longer than a short vowel. Okay? When we get to, in chanting, you'll notice in meter and all, we'll see that again in detail. But I want to tell you what the short vowels are. The short vowels are A, I, O, and R. So you can circle them in your book and you can write next to it, short vowel. All the other vowels are long vowels. So when you're singing the song, also you should sing it like this. I, U, R, A, O, aha. Each long vowel lasts longer than each short vowel. This will be very important when you get to chanting anything. Okay? Short and long vowels. Not complicated, just something to know. Now, somebody was asking if I can give some tips on how to remember the letters that are different. So, I, U, That's easy because we learned that on day one. And whatever you learn on day one, you don't forget. It's day two letters that start to get confusing. How do you remember R? Well, R comes in Krishna, right? And this letter is kind of like a backward K. So you can remember the backward K is associated with Krishna. And the little loop, well, that is like his scoop of butter. Okay? So if you want to remember, R is like Krishna's backward K. And the longer version is the big E instead of the small E. A is like, A sounds kind of like a backward Y, you know? And it looks also like a backward Y. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense to you. That's how it makes sense to me. So I think of A as a backward Y. You look at it like that, you can see. And its counterpart is I. You add the cherry, like the cherry on the ice cream. Okay? O and O, well, you already know how to write A. You just remember in order, you know, the younger sibling gets one and the older sibling gets two. In the older sibling's head, at least. So O gets one cherry and O gets two because O comes first and O comes second. These are little tips and tricks that we have used with the kids before. You can feel free to make your own because when you make friends with the letters and you have a relationship with them, that is when you're going to remember what they look like and what they sound. Right? If you come up with anything fun, you please let us know. We're always looking for fun ways to describe these letters. Like the oo I had mentioned. The oo, the long oo, it's like the cheese oozing out of the pizza. Oozing. Right? So whatever helps you to remember, you do those things and you make those things up and you hold on to them. All right. Now I want to show you all something interesting. At least interesting for me. I want you to tell me if there's something weird that you observe in these words based on the letters that we have learned. Something strange, something observably noticeable. Look for the letters that we have learned and see where they are in these words. Let's just take one for now. This. This word is Ishvara. Ishvara. You notice anything weird about it? You can type in the chat what you notice weird about this. No Hindi speakers or people who already know Devanagari are allowed to answer. Something weird about this word. No answers? What is weird is that even though vowels are in every part of words, there's only a vowel at the beginning. You notice that? Even though, listen to this word, Ishvara. There's multiple vowels in that, but we're only seeing one. Or take the next one. Ojas. But there's only O in there. This is a very important concept to keep in mind now, and that is what we're going to talk about. In Sanskrit, please, I'm talking about Sanskrit now, pay attention. We do not use these vowels that we've learned, we do not use them in the middle of words. And we know this very well from English. You know when you write the word apple, this A in this form only comes at the beginning. It doesn't come inside. Like a word with A's. Algebra. Even though there's an A again in this word, it looks like there is only an A at the beginning. Correct or wrong? In a similar way, in Sanskrit also, the vowels have symbols that are used inside of words. We don't use the vowel in its substantive form, what we learned. We use the vowel symbol. And actually, it is very mathematical to do it like this. Remember, I had mentioned on day one, I think I mentioned, Sanskrit is a very mathematical language. So in math, if you're going to do 5 plus 1, is your answer going to be 51? No. Just because you have two things adding, it doesn't mean that you put them next to each other in the answer. 51 is wrong. In a very similar way, when you have a consonant meeting a vowel, you don't get consonant next to vowel in Sanskrit. It doesn't work. Means if there's a consonant, K, for example, you're not going to put a next to it like this. This is wrong. What you get, consonant plus vowel equals syllable. Syllable. When you put a consonant with a vowel, you get a new unit called a syllable. Now just listen to me and catch the concept, okay? Sanskrit is a syllabic language, meaning everything comes in syllables in this language. When we talk about letters, when we talk about sounds, we're talking about them as syllables. And the syllables are put together very scientifically to make verses that are sung in meter. This is why they are important. So when you get to chanting, you appreciate how the fact that it is a syllabic language is very beneficial. But from our point of view of learning the letters, we should know these vowels have a vowel symbol that is used when we write the language. Hindi is different. See, this is where Hindi and Sanskrit are different. In Hindi, you can have two substantive vowels next to each other. For example, this word. You'll be able to read this word actually because it's made completely of vowels. What is this word? Ao. Ao means come. There's a nice bhajan. Ao baitho japo hari naam, Shivaji ke mandir mein. Come and sing the name of Bhagavan Hari in the mandir of Bhagavan Shiva. Ao. It has a A and it has a O. In Sanskrit, you will never find this kind of word where there are two vowels next to each other. So this is a big difference between Hindi and Sanskrit. Now, I want to tell you all something very, very important, and we're going to finish this topic tomorrow. Just listen to me today. You don't need to write anything. Just listen. I want you to catch the concept. Tomorrow we will learn how to write this consonant. I want you to just listen to me. The first consonant that we have is K. We're not doing the topic of consonant, we're doing the topic of vowel symbols. But you need a consonant for demonstration, right? Now, if I give you the word cake, everyone knows how to say cake and everyone knows how to eat cake, right? I want you to pronounce this sound without a vowel. Don't say K because I'm hearing an A. Totally remove the A sound from the K. Say this sound without a vowel. You try to say K. It cannot come out of your mouth. You cannot pronounce a consonant without a vowel sound. It is impossible. So when we write this thing here, this is the sound k. We call it k. We will learn that tomorrow, right? When we call this k, actually, it is not just, it is k with an in it. It includes the so that I can say it. Because without an I cannot say it. But the consonant originally does not have the sound. It is a pure k sound. Like say kick, kick. The end part of the word kick, that last sound, k, that is what this consonant is. The way that we represent a consonant in its pure form is by putting this little line here. This little dash at the bottom is called a halant. I will write it, I will get it for you to write tomorrow. I'll write it all out for you tomorrow. Halant. Halant is going to be your best friend in Sanskrit. If you do not make friends with the halant, you cannot chant Sanskrit properly. You cannot write it properly also. Our best friend in Sanskrit is halant. A halant is a little stroke at the end of the consonant that indicates the absence of a vowel. When you see a halant, it means that there is no vowel with that consonant. It is a consonant in its pure, unpronounceable form. So we call it ka halant. Because what else will you call it? Ka halant. Ka, the ka sound with the halant. So in your mind, you say ka halant equals ka minus a. Right? If you see you do not see a halant, it means that there is a presence of a vowel. Okay? The way now, one fun fact, the way we teach it to the kids. See, this is our ka with the halant. Imagine ka with halant is sitting at home. The halant is like his bedroom slippers. You know, sometimes you have really funny, embarrassing bedroom slippers that you can't wear in front of anybody except those in your home. So now his best friend comes. His best friend is up. Everybody's best friend is up, by the way. So his best friend comes to meet him. Before he can go and play with his friend he has to remove his bedroom slippers and leave them at home before he goes. Whenever a consonant meets a vowel, it drops the halant. The halant does not feature when there is a vowel. Okay, so now I have introduced a lot of new words. I have introduced a lot of new concepts. We talked from vowels, we went to vowel symbols. From vowel symbols, I introduced the concept of consonants, consonants not being able to be pronounced without a vowel. We talked from consonants, I introduced the topic of halant. So please catch the main concept. Tomorrow we will make notes on all of this, and we will learn what the vowel symbols are for each of the vowels. So now you might be wondering, well, what is my homework going to be? Because we didn't really learn any new things to write. Well, we learned and aha. So you're going to write those two out. And in the WhatsApp group, I'm also going to send a picture of the words that we had started to see. And I want you to identify each of the vowels that you find in the words. Okay, look for all the vowels. Then I want you all to practice the entire vowel. What is it called? All the vowels, right? You write all of them together and you sing the song with it. A to aha. And you write that over and over and over and over again until your hands get tired and you're like, oh my God, why am I in this class? You write it over and over again. You write from a onwards to the end, the whole vowel line, and you write that whole thing downwards. A, I, U, U, R, R, E, A, O, aha. A, I, U, R, R, E, A, O, aha. You keep going. And by tomorrow, actually, you should be happy that we have a little breather today where you didn't learn more letters, so you can concretize the letters that you know. But please think about this concept that I just presented. Tomorrow, I will re-present it, but very quickly. Today was to catch the concept, and tomorrow we'll make notes and we will learn the vowel symbols. Okay? So we'll do closing prayer, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.